Good morning, everybody. Hello, happy Monday. As you join, as you come in, let me know how you are, how you're doing, how you're feeling, how you're navigating. What I'm going to talk about today is only really just starting to, I've got it, but it's still just kind of like forming. So it's how are you all? Hello everybody, welcome, happy Monday. Great to see you here, lovely to have you. I'll ask some people that haven't been here for a while, so welcome, great to have you. If this is your first time here, it's called Monday Check-In. I like to do it Grand Rising from Japan, thank you Haruka. I like to do this on a Monday because I like us to start the week off strong, like build a foundation, start off strong, stay strong ideally, but like really set the tone for the week. So let's set the tone for the week. That's why I do them on a Monday morning. They're a check-in, so please let me know how you are, let me know how you're navigating, how you feel, insights you're having, things that are coming up for you. Put questions in at any time, and then I also kind of like see what comes up to share at this time. I leave it like right up until it comes in, and this came in this morning. So I want to start with reminding some of you, if you haven't heard me talk about this, I just want to kind of like set the scene about this up to this point in time. Many of you have asked or have had experiences of a lot of people leaving your life, relationships ending, marriages, partnerships, families, really good friends, close friends you've had for a long time, whoever, right through to acquaintances. A lot of you experiencing a lot of people leaving your life, or you're finding that you're the one who feels like you can no longer hang out with them. For some reason, relationships are being fractured. And I did a video on this. You can go back, you can find it. It's on YouTube plus on here, about the fact that what's happening is, this is the analogy that I use. So imagine if you were going to the airport, but you're going to different destinations. You can take the bus to the airport with all the people around you because you're all going on a journey. You're all going on a trip. So you can all get in that bus from Spencer Street Station. You can take it to Tullamarine. But once you get to the airport, you have to go to your own waiting lounge. You have to go to your own gate. You look up on the board, you go, where am I going? Where's my gate? And you go to that gate. Now, if you really, because the loss is too big, or you're just freaking out about the change, or you're freaking out about being alone, or whatever, or you dig your heels in, you're too overwhelmed with the fear of that happening, you can for sure go to the other person's gate with them. You can sit at their gate and you can go, I'm not leaving you, I'm staying with you. Or they can do the same with you. But what will happen is, once it's time to board the plane, you would be going to the wrong destination for you. Okay. This is why currently I think now what's happening now is we're like boarding the plane. So up to this point in time, we've all lost things. We've all had to let go of things, whether it's belief systems, whether it's just things that don't work anymore. It's been time to let go. A lot of people have fallen into that. We've had to let go of people. They've had to let go of us because we're not going to the same place. So this morning, what was coming through was to kind of build on that and to remind you, and pun intended, to remind you that we are all suffering amnesia. That's what happens when we come here. But it's time to take responsibility for that. It's time to stop. Okay, so we come here and we forget that is part of this experience. And as we remove the matrix, I believe that will no longer be the experience. Like, you will be able to come and go as you like, move in and out of a body if you want to, keep the same one if you want to, but you're not going to Each time you come into a life experience, forget, and kind of that amnesia is not going to continue to kick in. But for now, we still have it. Many of us are starting to wake up more and more to who we are. What the time is for now is to realize that you have amnesia. You have a form of amnesia where you have forgotten who you are and you have forgotten why you're here. What it is time for is it's time to stop walking around to people, which is what we've been taught to do, which is what we're encouraged to do, which is what we have all done. We all need to take responsibility for this. Walking around to people and saying, do you know who I am? Do you know what I'm meant to do? Do you know what work I'm meant to do? Do you know who I'm meant to be with? Do you know whether I'm meant to be in Canberra? Do you know whether I'm meant to stay home? Do you know whether I'm meant to march? Do you know whether I'm meant to not? Do you know whether I should have this? Do you know whether I shouldn't have it? Do you know whether I should send my kids to school? Do you know whether I shouldn't, right? We all do it. We all walk around all day, every day, asking other people to tell us who we are. And it's time to stop, because it is now time to get on that plane and to head to where we are each meant to go to. This is an individual solo journey as much as it is a collective journey. We look at the collective stuff and it can confuse us, because this is happening on two levels. We can get really confused about, well, what's my role for the collective? And you will have heard, I'm going to tell you this, it's not going to be groundbreaking, it's not going to be earth-shattering. You will have heard it a million times. I hope today you're going to hear it in a way you've never heard before, and I hope today it's going to make complete sense what that means. You need be nothing but yourself. The only thing that is required at this time, at any time, the only thing that is required for you to take your part in the collective is for you to be yourself. What is required now, though, is a stepping up and a fully embodying that. You're not going to be able to do that whilst you walk around saying to people, do you know who I am? Do you know what I'm meant to be doing? Do you know what my purpose is? Do you know what? Do you know what? Do you know what? So, how do we stop that? We need to find the balance between the outside and the inside. We need to start, because we have been living, and we've been encouraged to do that for sure, on purpose, fully manipulated, fully like matrix tactics, to focus everything outside, to assume that all wisdom lives outside, to assume that others know better, to go to others and to say, who am I? What am I? We parent this way. We parent by teaching the child, this is how we have all this intergenerational, we teach it then to each other. Like it's so clever and manipulative and yet so toxic that what happens is we take it on and then we do it for them. And we teach our kids the rules, and this is what you have to do. But I love painting. Well, you can't make money painting. You're going to be a carpenter. You're going to be a doctor. You're going to be a lawyer. You're going to be a whatever, right? This is how we stop each other from being who we are, and we start to tell each other who we are. And then we go, because the amnesia just gets worse. Kids don't really have that amnesia as much as it then kicks in. And it gets worse and worse, and we look more and more to the outside to tell us who we are. It is at a fever pitch height right now, because everything's unknown. And so what happens when you like pull the rug out, in a sense, and you're free falling? I've spoken about this before too. Some people are fully still in the plane. They haven't jumped. They're like clinging on for dear life, going, no. I'd rather go down with the plane than jump out of the plane. Many of us have jumped out. Sorry, I'm just gonna... Is that better? Many of us have jumped out of the plane, but we're in the free fall now, right? The chute hasn't opened up yet. We're in that free fall period. And when that happens, ego freaks the fuck out like crazy and goes, oh my God, I can't tell you what this means. I have no... I have nothing to go back to in my past what this means. I don't know what this means. And so it goes, oh my God, ask people. You've got to ask. We've got to find out. We've got to find out what this means. And in that way, you're not on your own trajectory and you're going to land somewhere that you aren't meant to land. So how do you navigate your own path? You still can get all the support and advice that you desire, but you have to be the stopping point. So what has to happen now is that we have to up our discernment, and we're going to do that through what resonates, really getting like mastery level at what resonates. And that way we're going to figure out, once we're really in tune with ourselves, once we know how to distinguish between fear and guidance, and we really become really good at, okay, no, that doesn't resonate with me. Navigating through resonance is what is going to really fine-tune our own guidance system. It's like there is an internal compass that is waiting. It's like, at the moment, it's like covered in spider webs. It's dusty. It's a bit rusty. Like, it's a bit creaky when you pick it up, right? But it's been there the whole time, waiting for you to use. This is what you're here for. You're here to be in the illusion, wake up within the illusion, and gain mastery without needing the illusion to end. And then the illusion will end. So it's time to pick up that compass, that internal compass, and like dust it off and clean it. And how it's going to start getting really, like how it's going to start to really come to life is when you get really good at walking your own path and not following others and not going, hey, where are we going? Oh, we're all hopping on this bus. Oh, okay, cool. And then like 8 hours into the journey going, where's the bus going? It's time to stop that. It's time to, yes, have your community. Yes, have your support. Yes, look to the outside. Get the guidance that you want. But then take everything inside, run it through your own system, really begin to master that internal compass. And you're going to do that through really honoring what resonates with you and what doesn't. It, like, forget the rules. Can you not tell? Like, does it resonate with you? Like, how much can you see right now that this is a time for those that follow the rules, and where is that leading them? And those that are starting to wake up to, it's not about the rules, it's about what's right for me. It's not about me telling you what's right for you. It's not about me telling them what's right for them. It's about what's right for me. This time, like never before, is giving us the opportunity to do that. So it's discernment through what resonates with me. And if you have a think about when people do have amnesia, right? Let's say, you know, think of every bad midday movie you've seen where someone's been in a car accident and they wake up with amnesia, they don't know who they are. What happens is they start to navigate through, they start to eat certain foods and go, I don't like that. I like that, but I don't like that. Okay, so I've just found out I don't like whatever. They certain smells. Oh, I don't like the smell of that. Okay, I don't like that food. No, I don't like that music. No, I don't like that color. No, I don't want to wear that jumper because I don't like that jumper. They start from scratch, and because they don't know who they are, someone can't tell you because the other people don't know who you are either. The other people don't even know who they are. So never look to someone else to tell you who you are. You can have people teach you tools so that you can figure out who you are. For sure, go to people and go, hey, what's this discernment thing? Have you heard about it? How are you doing it? For sure, let's support each other. Like, we are all in this together in a big sense. But we are not here to tell each other who we are. We are here to be fully ourselves, and within that, spark the inspiration in each other to be fully who we are. Right? This is what you're here for. And so just literally start to think of it that way. Think, if I woke up right now with amnesia in a hospital and didn't know anything, start today like that. Start this week like that. Start going clean slate. Clean slate. I don't know what I like. I don't know what I don't like. I don't know who I resonate with. And look at everybody with fresh eyes today. Literally look at everybody with fresh eyes. Look at everything with fresh eyes. Take something out of your wardrobe. Go, do I actually like this? Yep, I do. Great. Beautiful. That is me making a decision about me, right? Don't worry about who people are following. Don't worry about what people are saying. Watch stuff. Run it through your own system. Listen to people, run it. Does that resonate with me? No. There are so many times when I have had to forget who's giving me the message and focus on the message, right? Because I can get caught up in what I think of that person and I can reject it before they even open their mouth. And I've had to learn to move beyond that and go, no, listen to the message. Does the message resonate? It doesn't matter who provides it. If the message resonates with me, I don't care who teaches me something. I don't care who you are, right? Because you can all be my teachers. It doesn't matter who you are. In the same token, sometimes somebody's saying something I agree with, but the way they're delivering it is filled with fear and it's filled with conflict and it's languaging and it's in a way where I go, this does not resonate with me at all. So it is time for us to wake up out of this amnesia. We're waking up to the systems. We're waking up to the structures. More and more every day, we're waking up to the matrix. We're seeing the shit fuckery. We're seeing the manipulation. We're seeing the fear tactics. Do not underestimate. You're only going to be able to take that so far if you do not wake up to your own amnesia of having forgotten who you are, right? Having forgotten who you are. And only when you begin to get your own compass into action will you start to be able to navigate in alignment. So that's the other thing, right? Does this resonate with me? Is a question you want to ask constantly. And am I in alignment? Am I in alignment? Like, they're the two, because the more in alignment you are, the more you are on your own personal, unique trajectory, and that will ensure that you are exactly who you're meant to be at this time within the collective. Okay, gonna have a look at some of these comments. Let me know how that resonates with you. How are you feeling about that? Does that help you to understand on a deeper level what you kind of have been hearing all along, which is you only need to be yourself? You know, I mean, I'm saying it like that, like it's some flippant, but you know, it's not. It is everything. It literally is everything. Oh, thank you, Aurora. Thank you, Aurora. I love everything you share too. Haruka, yes, makes sense. I have been feeling confused lately as I'm involved with a number of spiritual communities. I feel a bit attached to them. You know, it's no different to thinking I can't. So I want to preface this with saying you don't need to get rid of any of them. You don't need to do anything. You don't clear out anything until you ask, does this resonate with me? Or is it an avoidance tactic, right? Why am I listening? Is this avoidance? Does this resonate with me? Am I learning more about myself as I listen to this? Now, here's the important thing. Like, here's the disclaimer that runs underneath anything I ever say. Do what you want to do. You will figure it out for you. There is nothing wrong with being human. There is nothing wrong with being frightened. There is nothing wrong with doing avoidance things sometimes. There's nothing wrong with it. We all do it. We all do it. It's human. It's normal. But become aware of what you're doing. And so if it is an avoidance thing, like if I'm, if I sit down and watch 2 hours of Netflix and go, yeah, I want to watch a movie and just get totally lost in it, big deal. Who cares? What does it matter? If I'm doing that for many hours a day, every day, then that's a big deal for me. because it starts to impede, it starts to interfere. And that's the thing that it's important to start to become aware of. Am I looking for these people to tell me who I am? With the Netflix, it would be, am I looking to escape who I am? Am I looking to escape my situations? I'm not going to fix anything by escaping and avoidance. I'm not going to learn more about myself by listening to somebody else for this many hours a day, this many days a week. Because the other thing is, when we're always outside, we're not getting enough time in the internal, we're not getting enough time to be inspired, which means in spirit, for spirit to communicate to us. Nature won't be able to send you messages. Spirit won't be able to communicate with you because you want to get that outside stuff and then you want to quietly take it in and you want to see what resonates. So Haruka, something you could do is, as you start to listen to them, rather than give them authority, use, when you are listening, start to really let it run through you. Does this resonate with me? And allow yourself to go, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. And the bits that do, follow the thread through yourself, then sit with it and go, okay, what resonates with me here? What feels like truth? What does spirit want to add to it for me? Okay, because then they've inspired you, and that's brilliant. I feel that spiritually advanced people like yourself would know more about me than myself. There are a few people who I look up to because I know they are more in tune than myself. Okay. So Haruka, the whole statement, spiritually advanced people like yourself would know more about me than myself, is, you will know this will not come as anything surprising to you, is totally a message from your ego. It's from the part of you that doesn't feel enough. It's from the part of your mind that doesn't feel enough, and so it's projecting that onto you. It is kind of really shows you a bit of a blind spot in yourself where you're going in with beliefs of like, they're going to know more than me, so let me listen to them. You can consciously shift that, like literally right now. Firstly, by recognizing, okay, this is not me, this is my ego. My ego is not spiritually advanced. This is very true, because your ego, along with mine, along with every person's ego on the planet, is the least evolved part of us. So it isn't spiritually advanced. However, because we all have amnesia, we don't really know how spiritually advanced each one of us is. Some people think they're highly superior in their spiritual advancement to others. Guaranteed, that's ego. Some people feel very inferior in their spiritual development compared to others. Guaranteed, that's ego. They are both ego. Ego will spend half of its time telling you you're not enough and spend the other half of its time blowing smoke up your ass. So you always know, if I'm feeling superior, inferior, either one of those, I am in my least evolved part. Your wiser self is wanting to communicate with you, and obviously is drawn to spiritual foundations, spiritual lessons, spiritual stuff. There are times when I'm struggling, not so much anymore, but certainly like, I felt like this sort of 2018 just, it started to get pretty crazy in 2018. And I was listening, and I would always joke and I would say, like, you can always tell what kind of a day I've had depending on how many podcasts I've listened to that day. And like literally I would like mainline them. I would go, I'm mainlining podcasts today because I needed the person. Okay, so this is the other thing definitely coming to me now that I feel like is something that will help you. What we're doing when we're looking to other spiritual teachers is, firstly, what we're doing when we're looking to spiritual channels and messages is we're just enjoying them. We're enjoying them and there's nothing wrong with it. If you're going to them feeling like they know more than me, that is your ego expressing its not enoughness and you're getting swept up in that messaging. If, like I was, going to these podcasts to make me feel better, Again, totally a-okay, but you want to look into how often am I having to do that? And if you are, what's happening is you're not able to hold space for yourself. So I needed to go to that thing so that it could lift me. The messaging could lift me, and there's nothing wrong with that. Wouldn't it be beautiful if we could all be here for each other and as a reminder of our greatness, as a reminder, as a lift to each other? If we could all remember how powerful we all are and how, and who we really are, and we just reflect that for each other, how beautiful to support each other in that way, right? Again, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're needing it a lot, I would say, ask yourself, where am I not holding space for myself, and therefore I need others to do it for me? So that's a good one there. And being in tune with yourself. But you are, Haruka, you're in tune with yourself because you're a musician and you're an artist and you are beautifully connected to tune all the time. It's about the in tune with yourself. You will practice that by going, what doesn't resonate with me, it's okay. I'm allowed to say I don't like that. I'm allowed to say, this is the thing. Nobody does it anymore because they get no response from me, and so I think they just go away and do it to other people. But sometimes I would, I'd share things, not just sometimes, a lot. I would share things in my stories, or I would share someone's video, and somebody would pop into my DMs and go, they're controlled opposition. I'm not sure if you're aware, but they're like controlled opposition, or they're a shill, or they're whatever. And I'm like, I'm not sure if you're aware, but this is actually not your call in my life. And I really don't give a fuck. Like, let yourself live in that. I really am not looking for your take on these people, right? So they went away really quickly. I mean, generally, because I didn't even respond to them at all. But it's like, why do I care? And, start to do this with people where people will go, oh, I love this. And you go, it didn't resonate with me. And it's okay. Don't give any reason. You don't need to give any reason. Didn't resonate with me. Cool. Great. Beautiful. Do you want a cup of tea? This is how sovereign beings live with each other. Sovereign beings look to no one to be above them or beneath them. But we live in community. We live in a lot of respect. We live in a lot of support, and we navigate what resonates, and we use that, and we learn the tools, and we learn from each other. We can be each other's teachers and guides. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But let's stop placing each other above or below, because this is simply not true. And it is just a sign of your amnesia, of you having forgotten who you are. Because at the end of the day, really, we don't know where we fall on this ladder of spirituality, on this ladder of development. Like I often say, you do not know who anybody is on this planet. And the guy who lives on the street corner shooting up heroin could be far more spiritually advanced than anybody else you know in your life, and has taken on a role to be a full, complete teacher of compassion and empathy and non-judgment as we walk past every day. So we don't know. We really, honestly do not know. And we're all here for different things. So listen, I'm a good talker. I'm good with words. I always have been. That's one of my gifts, right? One of my gifts is being able to take stuff that comes to me or stuff that I learn and then really share it in ways that are relatable. In 19 years of nursing, I could talk to anybody, right? From kids to elderly to no matter where you were from culturally, I just could tailor it to you so that you got it. That's my gift. But then you have yours. Now, why would everybody have this gift? Why would we not, in the whole tapestry of humanity where everybody shines in slightly different ways and everybody is here for a different trajectory, for a unique expression of the whole? You are a unique expression of the whole. The last thing you would ever want to do is compare yourself to somebody else, because that guaranteed is keeping you from being who you truly are, because it's keeping a ceiling on your ability to express yourself. Because And it's ego. It's ego purely and simply sitting in the corner going, I'm not good enough. Look how good they all are. And then, you might even ask, you go, do you want to do that? And they go, oh no. So you could be comparing yourself with things you don't even want to do because you're already doing the stuff you want to do. It's time to just fully back yourself. Melinda, I really needed this message today. It's very powerful, beautiful. I'm glad you're here to hear it. On point with the universal vibes as usual, Spina. Great, brilliant. I love how you mentioned about being a printer, but you can't make money from that. Pick something else. I've witnessed this. I hate hearing that. Alyssa, I love how you mentioned about being a painter, but you can't make money from that. Pick something else. I've witnessed this. I hate hearing it. Yes, it's time to stop. It's time to stop. I have done sessions on teens who are amazingly talented artistically. And in this time where it's particularly difficult for teens because they're looking at a world that they think is completely falling apart. They're looking at a world that they've been told is dying. They don't understand that it's the old world that's dying while a new world is being built, and that they're on the cusp. So they're that generation that's on the cusp where they will be the last sort of, I suppose, generation in a sense that will remember the before times. And they've got like one leg in each camp. They've got like one leg in the old world and one leg in kind of the crumbling, the new. And so for them, this is really difficult because as a teen, everything is already filled with change, filled with angst, filled with doubt, filled with fear. Ego is running rampant. Ego is so loud in your head when you're a teen, telling you you're not enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not thin enough, you're not talented enough. What if I can't get a girlfriend? What if I can't get a boyfriend? What if? Your parents are a fucking nightmare to you. Your parents are like Daniel Andrews to you, right? When you're a teen, your parents are like the destroyer of joy in a sense, right? So it's a tough time. And then they're being told, well, you're going to have to go to uni to get a proper job, or you have to learn a trade to get a proper job. And on the other hand, they're looking around going, but there isn't any. And so, anytime I can get my hands on a teen, I just tell them, like, you will be revered in the new world. Being an artist in the new world will literally be as revered as, like a neurosurgeon was in the old world. There will be no difference. There will be no distinction. Your talents will be revered, and you will be revered purely and simply. You will be celebrated and rejoiced purely and simply for who you are. So if we can start teaching our kids that, we're gonna get through this quicker. Aurora, you are teaching your children this. Hands down, you are doing it. If you don't follow Aurora Quinn Family Fun, do. Because you are a beautiful mother, and the way you hold space for your boys, and I mean, talk about crazy level of artistry in, is it Cooper? His art is just extraordinary. So, both your boys are extraordinary, but like talking about the artist and, beautiful. Yep, that's how I felt with when I was getting addicted to information and would come home from a hard, crazy day. And instead of sitting with myself, I found that I desperately wanted to outsource. Yeah, because it gets hard. It's like calling Uber Eats. It's the spiritual version of calling Uber Eats. You go, I can't be fucked making it myself. I'm too tired, but I'm hungry. And in a sense, what we're doing when we're constantly outsourcing for any kind of like that spiritual hit, this is why I don't love the soundbite reels. Don't love them. There's a place for them, sure. Do I sometimes listen to them? Yeah. Are they good? Yes. They can be good and they can be clever and they can be whatever. But if we're going to turn our spirituality in to suit the algorithm into 1 minute sound bites, that's a hit. That is a hit to your ego. And then your ego can feel better. That is literally like having me on tape saying, it's all okay. And you just play that. Just whenever you freak out, you just play it. It's all okay. Okay, great. It's all okay. This is not a stepping up. This is not, so you can call Uber Eats for the rest of your life and you can see then how your health goes, right? And the thing is, you can see how you go when there's a lockdown and they suddenly say no more Uber Eats, no one coming to your house. And you're standing there, you can have a whole pantry full of food and you go, I don't know how to cook it. Because that's what happens. Because this is how we become reliant and we live like children. We need to grow the fuck up. We need to grow the fuck up. We need to step the fuck up, and we need to realize that what you cannot do for yourself, every single thing that you outsource makes you reliant on a system that could be gone tomorrow. Makes you reliant on a person that could be gone tomorrow. Now, your ego's going to go, oh, fuck. So yeah, make sure you're like bunker ready, gun ready, 3 years of, food, water. Make sure we don't need anyone, because needing people makes us vulnerable. This is not what I am saying, okay? Tell your ego to go and sit in the corner, bring the adult to the forefront and let me speak to the adult. This is not what I am saying. I am saying that community is beautiful and having each other is wonderful and support is fantastic and being open to it is a healthy grown human, and allowing ourselves to be tended to and cared for and supported and celebrated is key. It's key. It's key to a healthy, balanced human. And at the same time, if we start needing it all the time, it means that we are lacking in our own ability to do it. So yes, it's great. If you come and cook me a meal, that is fantastic. And if I can go to a place that cooks me a meal, wonderful, happy to do that. But if I don't know how to cook, then if that goes, then I'm fucked, in a sense. I'm then open to that manipulation. Then they come to my door and go, okay, in order to have us make your meal, here are the rules that you need to follow. So it's about stepping up and doing that for ourselves. Does that make sense? Okay, there's a card coming for this. Does that make sense? The golden children again. This came up the other day. The golden children. The golden children are not going to be reliant on anything outside, but they're going to rejoice in it. So it would be like being on holiday and loving all of it, but knowing how to create that when you're at home. Like being on holiday and going, I love this, I love the rests, I love the naps, I love the sound of the ocean, I love the sun, I love the people I'm with, I love the fun I'm having, I love the food I'm eating that people are preparing for me, I love all of it. And if none of this was here, I know how to create this for myself. I know how to provide this for myself. And that is the spirituality we need to start stepping up to if we want to take this current opportunity to get our own navigation into action, to get our own compass clicking in, and to live in alignment and discernment. And to say to someone, are you having that? If they ask you, are you having that? Have you had it? And you say, no. And that can be a complete statement. That can be fully the end of the whole conversation with anything. So anything else about here? Inner child, the golden children, inner child. Okay, it's about remembering who you are. Now it's interesting that inner child will come up because that doesn't resonate with me, the whole inner child stuff, because to me, we are not children on the inside. We are masters. We have forgotten that. We can live like children and we can have like wounded aspects of a child in us, but to me, that's ego. And it needs our parenting. So I actually look at it very differently to how a lot of people look at inner child. So it's interesting that that's come up. But it's like, for me, it's like, so what tests up is like the golden children. It's time for us to step into that. It's time for us to step into that and go through the gate. And go through the gate and get on the plane. Like that's not going to make sense to you if you've just come in now. But if you go back, there's an analogy I used about why certain things and people are leaving us. Because things no longer resonate with you, they're just going to weigh you down. I knew the reaction I had to it, like a need was not healthy. Yeah, it's like a hit. And that's why these reels are like a hit, right? They're like a hit of heroin for like, it's going to be all right, okay, great. Or like like a positivity hit. I would feel so high and relaxed after watching an uplifting talk instead of finding it within myself. Again, totally okay to feel that is beautiful, because that's what the person wants you to feel who actually shared it. Like, for sure, I have these conversations with you on a Monday morning because I want you to set the tone for your week. I want you to get gold from this conversation. I want it to spark in you inspiration, for sure. I want it to remind you of who you are. And I want you to go through your week. I want you to spend the rest of today on a high from this conversation. What I want you to do when you're in that high is to follow the threads, stuff that resonated with you, and not walk away and go, yeah, wow, that was like, she's so whatever. No. Oh yeah, that's something, let it spark the stuff that's right for you, and then practice holding space for yourself. So it's not just about listening to it and then letting it go and just like living in the feeling. It's about listening to it, letting it land, and letting it spark, so that then throughout the week when something comes up, you go, oh, this is what we were talking about on Monday. This is that thing. And then especially if you share it with somebody, like, that really helps to ingrain it too. When you go, I've realized, like, on Monday we were talking about, like, outsourcing, like, if we're always getting Uber Eats, like, we forget how to cook. And it's the same with spirituality. Like, if I'm always looking for someone else to make me feel better, I forget how to do it myself. Like, if you share something like that with people, then it starts to become like, then you're living it. Then I'm reminding you and you're remembering, oh yeah, and then you're living it. And then that is the alignment, and that starts to build the chute that when you jump out of the plane, me and analogies, like I can't speak without them. So we don't have to be in the free fall anymore, because what if the free fall is not until the ground starts to look clear and we realize where we're landing? What if the free fall is until we create our own chute with our own tools, with our own awareness, with the amnesia clearing and going, I remember who I am, and I can't land until I create where I want to land. And if we're always going to other people to tell us who we are, okay, that's the other big take-home thing I want you to have from today. Stop walking around in desperation, in a sense, going, who am I? Who am I? What am I? Tell me what I am. No, it's I will learn that through the alignment. What aligns with me, and what's right for you doesn't have to be right for me, and vice versa. And that's how we build the chute. And then we land where we're meant to land. Because if you landed on my spot, it might not be right for you. You go, I don't like this. Well, you didn't create it. It's not for you. That's why you don't like it. Okay, there's a card here for this. Top one. Surrender to the sweetness. Surrender to the sweetness of the fall. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. Surrender to the sweetness of the fall. Like, that doesn't say to the fall. I'm adding to the fall because it tests up. Surrender to the sweetness of the free fall, and know, like, getting to the excitement of it too, of going, oh my God, I get to create where I land. I get to create where I land. Pleasure, Haruka. Yeah, it's ego. Cooper. Cooper is the painter, Parker is the cook. Beautiful, two beautiful boys. What a beautiful message will instill this in my granddaughters. Beautiful reader, I love that. Yes, I was thinking, what would happen if power went out and I had no books? They have robbed us of our imagination, and they have robbed us of our connection. So what happens? And we've done this to each other because we've taught the next generation, and we don't let them just sit, and we don't let them with too many activities. Here, have this and have this and have this. So the other day I was in the supermarket and I found dog treats. So if you know me, if you've been here for a while, you will know that our pooch is like, not only like the greatest spiritual teachers I've ever had, my animals, but also like my children, my family. And I feed them very well and very consciously. And I'm in the supermarket and I went through the pet food aisle and I found vanilla flavored treats. And I thought, just when you think it can't be any more fucked up. And that is exactly what we do to our children. Our children come in and they just want food. Good, nourishing food. And then as they get a little bit older, I mean, I saw this happen, certainly my generation. I don't know what the thing is now. The thing now, I don't know. I add a bit of salt because, you know, imagine how plain that is. It's not plain to the child. The child hasn't had their taste buds stuffed up with 25 years of nicotine and coffee and, all the stuff, right? The child has taste buds that are zinging. So the child you have a look at a kid's face when they have something like lemony or sour, that child is getting full maximum flavor. But adults who no longer have full maximum flavor come in and assess it and go, I don't think that's full maximum flavor, add something in. And this is how we start to do this to each other as well, with attention, with time, with just stillness. Oh, here, have another toy. Christmas, 24,000 toys, full overwhelm, and nothing is special. Instead of the one special toy that I can play with for hours and hours. Oh, look, I've just spent $100 on that. I bet you he'll prefer to play with the box. Yes. Do you know why? Because with the box, he uses his imagination. And because there is nothing greater on this planet than his imagination. And what we're all doing to each other is teaching our imagination out of each other. And we, as adults, have lost it. When you have lost your ability to imagine, you have lost your ability to create. When you have lost your ability to sit in stillness, you have lost your ability to commune with Source, with God. And both of those things are vital tools to get you on your trajectory and to get you where you want to go and to get us all to create heaven on earth, which we're all here for. We're all here for the main show. Whether you know it or not, you put your hand up for the main show. And that is what we're in the process of doing. But it's waiting for us to create it. It's not something we're going to step into. It's something we need to create. And we're not going to create it through busyness. And we're not going to create it through 12 hours a day on the phone. We're just not. We can get inspiration and go, okay, I'm heading in for a bit. This looks good. Yep, great. But you will find you'll just become more and more self-sourcing and self-soothing. And that is a really good sign to you that you're on track. Hi, Fee. Wow, so good to hear this about teenagers. I totally feel the same way. Yeah, teenagers I just love them so much. I want to inspire the young ones who want to be artists and musicians. Thank you, Sabina. You helped me remember this. Yeah, beautiful. See, there you go. There you go. Teach them. And Haruka, please know that your feelings of not enoughness are not a flaw. Firstly, please always know they are your egos. They are not your own, because there is no aspect of you that is not enough. Your ego, like mine, like all of ours, doesn't feel enough because it's the least evolved part of our mind. So it does not feel enough. It feels overwhelmed. And then it tries to convince us that we are not enough. When we don't remember who we are, and when we haven't yet mastered the ability to see it and to separate ourselves out from it, we take that on as a truth. Here's the beauty of this, Haruka. Those teenagers are also living in that, and you would not be able to teach them if you did not know how they felt. I've just been I'm updating my whole website, and so I've written all new copy. And it's so exciting, although it was difficult to write for sure, but the clarity of this is who I am and this is what I do came through, of course, in a way after 10 years of me doing this that it could not at the start. But also I wasn't ready to fully embrace, I am here to remind you of your power. And I spent a long time not knowing mine. And that doesn't make me a fraud. That makes me perfectly suited to remind you of your power, because I know exactly what it feels like to think you haven't got any. So I could always see yours, anybody's, right? So growing up, Domestic violence, never saw my mother as a victim. Never. I can always see people in their power. I can always see their choices. I see them in their highest light. But I missed that when it came to me, right? So yes, I knew my potential. Yes, I knew I was the same. I didn't feel less than in any way, shape or form. I also didn't feel superior. But I couldn't for the life of me figure out like where the exits were to certain situations in my life, because I just, now this was not a flaw. This was a perfectly designed aspect of this life for me. I mean, how perfect is it to say, okay, you're going to go into this body. It is your purpose to remind people of their power. You are going to forget your own so that you can experience what that feels like. Then you are going to navigate your way back to your power. You're going to learn the tools. You're going to see what works. You're going to have perfect situations and scenarios that are going to keep saying, do you want to forget your power or do you want to choose your power? Do you want to forget your power? You're going to have them all the time. They're going to be perfect teaching scenarios. You're going to be perfect triggers so that you can keep going back under the illusion of you don't have any power. Eventually, when you choose, when you decide you've had enough, you're going to get yourself out of that. And whenever you forget, you're going to realize this is an illusion and I need to wake myself up from it. That is perfection to help me to remind you all, or whoever wants to listen, whoever I encounter, of your power. Because if I had never had a moment in my life where I didn't feel in my power, how on earth could I relate to any of you who have currently forgotten yours or who have forgotten yours in this current situation, whatever. And so Haruka, you are beautifully kind of like aligned with this, because your own navigating your, say, your doubt about your artistry, your doubt about your creativity, your can I do this, is it all right to do this, is it frivolous, whatever might be going through your mind, perfectly places you to know what it's like. And then to be able to speak to that aspect of people and to have compassion for it and not to judge it. Okay, one more card. Again, you know what? I actually plan to be on here just for half an hour today and then to head over to YouTube, because I really do want to start doing these on YouTube. And I thought I'll head over. But now that we've been talking for an hour, maybe we'll do that next week. Next Monday, you're all welcome. Whoever watches the repeat, join me, 9 o'clock. Let's do half an hour and then let's switch over to YouTube for a live. I haven't done a live on YouTube, which is why I'm going to start here first, so that you can give me feedback and stuff on the sound and stuff. Okay, the Seas of Mintaka. The Seas of Mintaka. Seeing potential and bringing unconsciousness to light. Seeing potential and bringing unconsciousness to light. So if we look at the three that have come up today, it's the golden children, which for sure we are. And it's time to rise and to remember who we are. And that's not some airy, fairy, fluffy, blow smoke up your ass statement. That is literally a waking up out of the amnesia. Stop asking people, who am I and what should I do? Surrender to the sweetness. Surrender to the sweetness of the free fall we're currently in and realize that you're going to build your own shoot. And seeing potential and bringing unconsciousness to light. It's just time for that. We're not going to bring this thing home until we each individually step up and stand up. One more from that deck. Okay, any questions? I'm going to stay on till 10. Please let me know if there's anything you want to ask about what I've said or anything that's coming up for you. Any insights you want to share? What really resonated? What are you going to take away with you? How are you going to set the tone this week? Or what tone are you setting? Oh, I'm having such deeper and deeper and deeper understanding and awareness of what set the tone means that I did not have when I wrote the book. Oh, God. Unbound. Unbound. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Unbound. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Beautiful. Yeah, so YouTube is same name, Sabina Jackson Conscious Living. There's a link in my link tree, I think, directly to it. Can you speak more on your thoughts of the inner child? Yeah. Okay. Tell you what. Let's go to YouTube. Whoever wants to come to YouTube, come to YouTube. I'm going to stop this here now. I'm just going to say a little bit about my take on the inner child on YouTube. It's my first live, so it's either going to go well. I'm going to either figure out how to save it or not. Head over with me. If you don't, it's the same name as here if you are coming along and you don't know where it is. Sabina Jackson Conscious Living. And I'm just going to do it on here on the iPad and we'll see how it goes. The bottom of that. Oh, there. I wanted to make a decision that would cost me a bit more each week. I feel like inside I can do it, but I spoke with my accountant and she warned me against it. That's because your accountant is paid to see the limitations. Your accountant has been trained in her training to be safe. I know a few accountants, they are very safe. They don't live in expansion. And you, Melinda, are a creative, in tune, your psychic abilities are very high, you're in connection with what you want to offer. And that's expansive. And the two don't go together. So you have to really take it down to the question of, in this scenario, who knows better? The thing is, like, the safety is safety, but it's also not going to stop the growing and the evolution. So thank you, Sabina. Thank you for reminding me why I chose my life experience. Beautiful, Haruka, and they are perfect. Okay, everyone. Melinda, head over if you want to. Everyone, head over. Let's head over. YouTube is the place that is only for uplifting. For me, made it into a beautiful space. So that's perfect. The reason why, yeah, and you need time off socials. The reason why, look, it's the same as when I used to do this on Facebook and, like, you know, have quite a big lot of people turn up and then they'd all go, oh, no, I'm not on Instagram. So I think now it's like, well, I'm not, I haven't been on Facebook for a long time. I'm on here and now I'm thinking, like, people are here going to go, oh, I don't want to go to YouTube. But the thing is, rather than record it here and put it onto YouTube every week, it's just easy to record it to YouTube. And I don't like the way that Instagram is kind of just doing 1 minute snippet. And then, so really, like, firstly, I'm highly shadow banned. Reach is pitiful. There's like 1,900 followers and sometimes a video might get to like 40 accounts. Whereas on YouTube, at the moment, it's there. You look it up, it's there. You're going to go, if you come and join Monday mornings, live, fabulous. Otherwise, watch the replay. It's just going to be there. It's not going to be a matter of, people keep saying to me, they can't even find my account without going into their DMs and going through an old message. So, I'd rather it be that you can make the choice. Is it something you want to come to? Is it a space you want to hang in? You can watch the replay, but yeah, come for the live because that helps me. I come in with a topic, but it helps me. Your energy helps me to kind of tune into what needs to be known, but also the questions help me to kind of spark like the next step of kind of bringing it forward. Full length videos don't get seen on here at all for me, but yeah. Okay, all right, everyone, much love. Let's head over to YouTube and let's see how I go with the live. Okay, see you there.